As all of you are aware that this is a special session that we hold during the Jalsa Salana, where we have our friends and dignitaries from the UK and abroad who come with their well wishes for Jalsa Salana. And during this session, we will be hearing some of the dignitaries, both from the UK and from abroad. We also have a lot of video messages that we've received from various dignitaries. And we have received 60 video messages. We will not be able to play all of them, but inshallah, we will try and play some of the key messages that we have received. We have received 27 from parliamentarians, 20 from mayors and councillors, and the rest from other dignitaries from different countries. So we have selected a few of these messages for you to start with. Our first message is from Sir Mark Rowley. Sir Rowley is the Commissioner of the Metropolitan Police that is responsible for policing all of the Greater London and major areas. He also advises on security and policing at the international level. Sir Mark is a close friend of the Jamaat and has met Hazur Anwar. I'm pleased to be sharing his message with you. And the second message is from Preet Gill, who is a Member of Parliament for Edgbaston and Birmingham. She currently serves as the Shadow Secretary of State for International Development and is a close friend of the Jamaat. We'll listen to those two messages now.
Assalamu alaikum. I hope this message finds you in good health and in high spirits. I am sorry that I can't be with you in person today, but I'm delighted to be able to record this personal message. I send my very best wishes to you all, and in particular to His Holiness Mirza Masroor Hamad, who I've had the great pleasure of meeting previously. I do know that his message of love for all and hatred for none will resonate as strongly with you all as it does with those of us who work in policing, as we do our work to make communities safer. In the Metropolitan Police, we're guided by our core values of respect, integrity, empathy, courage and accountability. They form the foundation of our service to the public and to local communities, and they're reflected in our approach to community engagement and ensuring the safety and security of all Londoners. I do realise that these values closely align with those of the Ahmadi Muslim community. Indeed, your commitment to promoting peace, to strengthening intercommunity relations and countering extremism is admirable, and it's all vitally important work. We must all continue to work together, condemning violence, especially that supposedly in the name of religion, as we work together towards a safer, more tolerant and more inclusive society. And I do know that we have your support in achieving that goal. So, on behalf of the Metropolitan Police, I extend to you my warmest wishes for a successful and an enjoyable Jalsa Salana UK. Jalsa Mubarak.
Salam, I'm Preet Gill, Labour's Shadow Secretary of State for International Development. I want to send my support and encouragement to the thousands of Ahmadiyya Muslims attending the 57th Annual Convention, Jalsa Salana, this year. It's wonderful to see so many people come together to celebrate their faith and belief at such a fantastic event. As Labour spokesperson for International Development, I want to send a message of companionship, strength and solidarity to Ahmadis across the world. My thoughts are especially with Ahmadis currently facing persecution in Pakistan. I'm sorry that I can't be there with you at Jalsa Salana this year. It's always a great occasion, and I know it will be again this year. I want to send my best wishes to everyone attending, and I hope you have a lovely event on behalf of the Labour Party. A wonderful Jalsa Salana.
Jazakallah. Our next messages come again from two parliamentarians. The first video message is from Right Honourable David Lammy, who is the Member of Parliament for Tottenham. He's currently the Shadow Foreign Minister and has formerly served as the Shadow Justice Minister and is a very good friend of the Jamaat and has visited Battle Fattu. The second message is from Paul Scully, who's a Member of Parliament for Sutton and Cheam, that neighbours Battle Fattu Mosque. He currently serves as the Minister for Tech and Digital Economy. He also serves as the Vice Chair for the Conservative Party and the Vice Chair for the All-Party Parliamentary Group for the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. We'll now listen to these two messages.
My name's David Lammy and I'm Shadow Foreign Secretary here in the UK, and I want to wish you a very successful 57th Jalsa Salana. And it's wonderful that there is now a new headquarters, a new mosque in South London that I was happy to see just a few weeks ago. Thank you so much for all that your community is doing here in London. Thank you for the coronation parties. Thank you for the work with the homeless. Thank you for your food banks. This is a community that's seeing growth and progress. I recognise the work that you're doing. Happy Jalsa Salana.
Salam alaikum. I'm sorry that I can't be with you at this year's Jalsa Salana. It's always a pleasure to be able to come and see you connecting with other people in the communities, spreading the message of love for all, hatred for none, as ever, and really getting together to break bread, to share thoughts, reflections in your faith, and of course, to hear from His Holiness, the most inspirational figure. Now, I was really pleased to be able to come to the Battle Mosque to celebrate with everybody the reopening of the buildings around the mosque and the mosque itself. It's so beautiful, the architecture, the work that's been done there. So I congratulate everybody that's been involved. It really is a fitting part of southwest London to celebrate everything that the Ahmadiyya communities means for us. And so there are too many members of the community that are persecuted around the world. And that's why I know many of my colleagues that are still remain within the all-party parliamentary group. Unfortunately, as a minister, I can't be part of that group at the moment. We will all, though, come together to make sure that we highlight persecution, we call it out, and we act as best we can to mobilise the international community to stamp it out so that Ahmadiyya Muslims can indeed practice their faith wherever they are in the world.
Jazakallah. I'm very grateful for those messages. Our next two messages, first one is from Fiona Bruce, who is the MP for Congleton. She currently serves as the Prime Minister's Special Envoy for Freedom of Religion or Belief, and often speaks out on issues of persecution of Ahmadi Muslims. She is a close friend of the community. The second message is from Honourable Doug Ford, MPP, who is the Premier of Ontario in Canada, where the Peace Village is located. Doug previously served as an Ontario's City Councillor and a Director of Canadian National Exhibition. He's a full close friend of the community, so we'll hear those two messages.
Across the world, many people face immense difficulties simply on account of their beliefs. And among these, the persecution of the Ahmadiyya Muslims is deeply worrying, especially so in Pakistan. Since 2022, 4 people have been murdered in Pakistan for being Ahmadiyya Muslims. And since 2020, 45 mosques and over 400 graves have been desecrated. Every incident like this is utterly abhorrent. And I'm also aware of the horrific and brutal murder of 9 Ahmadiyyas in Burkina Faso, and in Bangladesh I hear that the 2023 annual Ahmadiyyas convention was attacked by extremists and a young Ahmadiyya aged just 23 was tragically killed. I stand with you as you stand against this persecution in my role as the UK Prime Minister's Special Envoy for Freedom of Religion or Belief, but also in my role as the Chair of the International Religious Freedom or Belief Alliance. I know that your response to persecution, as guided by His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, is to remain steadfast, to serve your country loyally, and to serve mankind with compassion. This is an inspirational response, and one that keeps open the door of hope for you and all humanity. Be assured that in me you have a firm ally.
Hi, my name is Doug Ford. I have the honor of serving as the Premier of a province of Ontario, which is also home to your national headquarters. I had the opportunity to attend Jalsa Salana in Canada for the first time this month. It was truly inspirational. The volunteerism of the Muslim community speaks volumes. You live up to the values of your faith by serving others, and true examples of your community's motto of love for all, hatred for none. I wanted to take this opportunity to congratulate the international Ahmadiyya Muslim community on your 57th annual Jalsa Salana in the United Kingdom. I would also like to take this opportunity to humbly congratulate Your Holiness on your community's achievements in guiding your members to always promote peace and be of service to others. Your Holiness, I have not had the opportunity to meet you, and I'd very much like the opportunity to host you in my home province of Ontario, Canada. I hope that you'll accept my simple invitation for you to visit us, and it would be my delight to learn more from you and your whole team and get to know you a lot better. So from the bottom of my heart, I say Mubarak to you, Your Holiness, and all members of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community around the globe. Keep doing all the incredible things you do, and may peace always be with each and every one of you. Thanks for making the world a better place.
Thank you very much. And now we will have some speakers who are actually attending this Jalsa Salana. Our first overseas guest speaker is Jalal Silas, who is a professor and ophthalmologist serving in the Burkina Faso Army. He's very well known in his country for his services towards eye treatment, and is also working in the newly built Masrour Eye Hospital in Burkina Faso. He's a close friend of the community and has traveled from Burkina Faso to join us here today. I welcome him and invite him to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Holiness, honorable guests, it's a great honor and a real pleasure for me to be here. Your Holiness, by the grace of Allah, your instruction, and by the benevolence of your community, a dedicated eye health facility has built called Masrour Eye Institute in my country, Burkina Faso. This is providing much needed treatments for blinding disease in West Africa. I have the honor to work as the medical director in order to relieve many eye patients every day. Allow me here to share with all my gratitude and recognition on behalf of all the patients and all the people of Burkina Faso for your help and your compassion. The first time I met Hazel, he told me to do everything to promote humanity and to serve without any desire to promote myself. I have not forgotten these words and will continue to work hard to serve humanity. May Allah continue to watch over you and all your community. Amen. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Could I please request all the people at the rear who are coming in to please observe silence whilst we're listening to our speakers. Our next speaker is Dr. Ahmad Najib Burhani, who is a visiting senior fellow at the Indonesia Studies Program and a chairman of the Institute of Social Sciences and Humanity at the National Research and Innovation Agency. He's a close friend of the community and has traveled all the way from Indonesia to be here with us today. I welcome him and ask him to come and say a few words.
Nara Takbir, Islam Ahmadiyah, Jalsa Salana UK, Nara Takbir. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I attended Jalsa Salana virtually for the first time in this country, in UK. It was in 2006 when I took my master's degree at the University of Manchester. After that, I moved to California to pursue my PhD. Fast forward, when I started writing my dissertation in 2011, there was a tragedy in Indonesia where 3 Ahmadis in Cikesik were killed brutally. Shockingly, instead of expressing condolences, most of Indonesian media and many people blamed the victims and stated they deserved to be discriminated, expelled from the village, and even killed. This tragedy and the responses in society became the point where I believed that I need to study Ahmadiyya accurately. I humbly hope my works can clarify and correct misunderstanding, stereotypes, and prejudice towards this community. I completed my study in 2013 with dissertation entitled When Muslims Are Not Muslims, the Ahmadiyya Community and the Discourse on Heresy in Indonesia. Since my graduation, I have published a number of articles, chapters, and books on the Ahmadiyya. I want to share here just 2 of my studies on the Ahmadiyya translation of the Quran and then the conversion to Ahmadiyya. My first article, the Ahmadiyya has been accused of following a different holy book to other Muslims, namely the Tazkirah, an accusation that has been rejected by the Ahmadis. In fact, the Ahmadiyya community has been very active in the field of the Quran translation and can be seen as pioneering in their endeavors to translate the Quran into a variety of languages. In the first half of the 20th century, the Ahmadiyya translation of the Quran were held in high regard and functioned as an important source of knowledge about Islam for many Indonesian Muslims. My article studies the characteristic of Ahmadiyya translations circulating in Indonesia and their influence on Indonesian Islam, focusing on following questions. What unique characteristic do Ahmadiyya translation on the Quran display? What was the appeal of this translation to Indonesian intelligentsia? And what is the contribution of this translation to the study of the Quran? The second article provides an analysis that people join the Ahmadiyya not exclusively as a result of its distinctive strategies in propagating its beliefs, but more often because of 3 other factors. The first, the close-knit and strong bond of members of Ahmadiyya, such as in helping each other in economic development. Second, the spiritual and mystical beliefs of Ahmadiyya, such as in their messianic beliefs and belief in the involvement of God in helping Ahmadis in mundane affairs. Third, the ethic of morality and morality of Ahmadiyya followers, as reflected in the conduct of its sober and passionate missionaries, particularly when they were humiliated by their opponents. My apology, I actually do not have a mandate or license to speak on behalf of Ahmadiyya, but I have been a spokesperson for the Ahmadiyya to non-Ahmadi since 2013, particularly in academic communities. I'm honored and grateful for the invitation to come here, and I would like to express my gratitude and appreciation to Ahmadiyya for all their generosity and kindness. I strongly believe that the Ahmadiyya are wonderful persons, full of friendship and always dedicated their life to love God and human beings, following the motto, love for all, hatred for none. I would like to close my message by telling you a short story about my friend, an Ahmadi and a brilliant scholar. Her name is Intan Suci Nurhati. Her mother is here at this Jalsa. Intan is the director of the Research Center for Deep Sea. She is a very rare scholar who has a lot of academic achievements and awards. Last year, she received a huge amount of money from National Geographic for her research on Sri Kandi Bahari, female marine person. No one at BRIN, National Research and Innovation Agency, knows that she is an Ahmadi, except me. I think she would be another Abdus Salam from Ahmadiyah and from Indonesia. I wish Ahmadiyah could produce more Abdus Salam and more Intan, our diamond, in the future. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Takbir! Islam Ahmadiyyah! Jamaat Indonesia! Nara Takbir!
Jazakallah. Our next speaker comes all the way from the United States of America. Dr. Brett Sheriffs is a director at the International Center for Law and Religion Studies at Brigham Young University in Utah in the United States. In his academic career spanning nearly 2 decades, Professor Sheriffs has written more than 100 articles and books, chapters, and has made over 300 scholarly presentations in 30 countries. He's a close friend of the community and has traveled all the way from the US to be with us here today. I welcome him and ask him to come and say a few words.
Thank you. My dear brothers and sisters, as the director of the International Center for Law and Religion Studies at Brigham Young University, our mission is to stand up and speak out for freedom of religion and belief for all people, in all places, at all times. We commend the Secretary General, Nassim Malik, and his colleagues at the International Human Rights Committee for their tireless efforts to inform the world about the ongoing and worsening discrimination, persecutions, and crimes against Ahmadiyas and their places of worship. You are not alone. Together with IHRC, we will not stop until every Ahmadiyya is free and free to worship. This week, we held a major conference at Oxford University on human dignity. At that conference, I highlighted the ongoing persecution of Ahmadis, including the misuse of blasphemy laws and the targeting and destruction of Ahmadi places of worship. At that conference, Professor Amjad Khan of UCLA Law School highlighted the important contributions of the great statesman Zafrullah Khan, who, as the first foreign minister of Pakistan, was one of the key defenders of religious freedom, including the right to change one's religion or belief. As Zafrullah Khan explained, a proper understanding of Islam requires respect for freedom of religion. He convinced 7 of the 8 Muslim majority countries who were members of the United Nations in 1948 to vote in favor of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights, including its guarantees of religious freedom and the freedom to change one's religion or belief. This year marks the 75th anniversary of the Universal Declaration of Human Rights. The Oxford Conference concluded with a resolution calling on all of us to advocate and educate for human dignity for everyone, everywhere, and to encourage the United Nations General Assembly to adopt a resolution establishing an annual United Nations Human Dignity Day, creating an opportunity for the world to pause each year and focus on human dignity, which is the foundation and taproot of human rights and freedom for all. But you may ask, what can I do to promote human dignity for everyone everywhere, or religious freedom for all? Let me conclude with 2 simple suggestions. First, live your own faith. Live the best version of that faith. Religious freedom isn't worth much if we do not do something with it. Second, lift where you stand. A wise teacher, Dieter Uchtdorf, told a story about a small German church congregation that was faced with the daunting task of moving a heavy grand piano. After several attempts ended in failure, an elderly gentleman had an idea. Brothers and sisters, let's gather around the piano and each lift where we stand. And it worked. Each of us, in our own ways and with our own voices, can lift where we stand to defend human dignity for everyone everywhere and religious freedom for all. Thank you.
Islam Ahmadiyya, Jamaat Ahmadiyya USA, Nare Takbir.
Thank you very much. As I mentioned earlier, we have received a large number of video messages, and in the interest of time, we'll now share extracts from some of these videos.
The Ahmadiyya Muslim community. It's a great pleasure once again to send you this message on the occasion of your big annual gathering, a huge annual gathering.
It gives me immense pleasure to congratulate Ahmadiyya community for holding the 57th Jalsa Salana under the leadership of His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad.
This is the largest Harmony Peace gathering. Congratulations to the Ahmadiyya Muslims, to His Holiness and all who worship with him.
And on behalf of myself and the entire Labour Party, I want to extend my good wishes to you as you gather for your convention.
I would like to express my gratitude for the work you have done and continue to do in our community. The Ahmadiyya Muslim community's charitable efforts are inspiring. Let me also pay tribute to your Caliph, Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the worldwide head of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, who is teaching you in a very profound way.
You have gone above and beyond to support wider communities by providing support to all those who find themselves struggling through the cost of living crisis.
And I also want to send solidarity to Ahmadi Muslims internationally who face persecution as a result of their beliefs. You deserve religious freedom, equality and respect wherever you live.
The things that have happened to the Ahmadi community in Pakistan really is shocking. The stories that I have heard personally from people about the wicked things that have been done to loved ones, but also the desecration and digging up of crematoria, the memorial grounds, and the way in which people are denied their basic civil rights and liberties is something which Pakistan really does need to address.
The motto of your community, love for all, hatred for none, is a simple but powerful motto we can all strive to live by for a better world.
The General Assembly of the Church of Scotland sends its greetings, its prayers, and its thanks. I am so sorry that I cannot join you, but my spirit is with you. Again, Salam Alaikum.
On behalf of the City of Edinburgh, I'd like to wish you a hugely successful gathering.
So I wish you all the very best for the convention and the proceedings when you meet there. And I do believe that the slogan, love for all and hatred for none, is more relevant today than it's ever been.
My message to you all is Jalsa Salana Mubarak.
Thank you very much for all those messages. Now, our next speaker is the Mayor of Alton. Alton is, of course, the place where we are holding this Jalsa Salana. So basically, we are holding this Jalsa Salana in his home patch. This will be Ben's first year serving as the Mayor of Alton. And his chosen charity is Woodland Trust, and is working tirelessly for the benefit of all Altonians. It gives me great pleasure to welcome him, and I invite him to come and say a few words.
Salam alaikum. This is a homely speech for homely people. You've come a long way to be here in my home, and you're welcome. And please come again next year and forevermore, because this is wonderful for all of us. Alton's not a big place. In fact, I think I could just about fit the whole of Alton in this place of ours. But it's lovely to see you guys here instead. And please make the best of our wonderful countryside if you can, and look after the trees. Thank you.
Jalsa Salana UK, Jamaat Ahmadiyya UK.
Thank you very much. Our next speaker this afternoon is a parliamentarian. Elliot Coburn has been serving as MP for Carshalton and Wallington since 2019. In Parliament, he is a member of the Petition Committee and the Consolidation Bill Joint Committee. He's a very good friend of the community and is currently serving as the Vice Chair of the APPG of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community and attends many of our events. I welcome him and ask him to come and say a few words.
Assalamu alaikum. Your Holiness, ladies and gentlemen, thank you from the bottom of my heart for inviting me along to take part in Jalsa Salana this year. It has been a privilege working as the Member of Parliament in South London, so close to the Battlefooter Mosque, to see everything that the Ahmadiyya community provides, not just to Carshalton and Wallington, not just to London, but to the United Kingdom as a whole. And my first message is one of thanks. Thanks to you, thanks to all of you, for everything that you do for our great country, particularly the charitable efforts that the Ahmadiyya community are so well known for. Every single year, we see the Ahmadiyya Muslim community on the front line, making sure that people in their community and outside of their community are given everything that they need. And that charitable effort cannot be understated. So my first message is one of thanks. But my second message is one of solidarity and one of assurance. We are gathered here today in a welcoming space, and that slogan, love for all, hatred for none, is felt so deeply. And I can feel that in this room today, but we know that outside of it, the Ahmadiyya community continues to face persecution, not just in Pakistan, but around the world, just because of your religion. And you have my assurance as a British parliamentarian that as a Member of Parliament here in the UK, that we will continue to speak up, ensuring that our government does everything that it can to speak up for the rights of the Ahmadiyya community around the world. And you have friends in the UK Parliament from all political parties, including my own. And I bring that same solidarity message from the Prime Minister, Rishi Sunak, with me today. So please do enjoy the rest of Jalsa Salana. Thank you for everything that you do. And just remember that there is hope. And you provide that hope to communities, not just here, but around the world. Jalsa Salana Mubarak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Right, now we have a number of video messages again that we're going to share with you. The first message is from Right Honourable Sir Ed Davey, who is the leader of Liberal Democratic Party. He has previously served as the Secretary of State for Energy and Climate Change and is the Vice Chair of the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community Group in Parliament. He is a long-standing friend of the Jamaat and has met Hazur many times and sought Hazur's counsel and will be well known to many of you as well. Then the next message comes from Right Honourable Jeremy Hunt, Member of Parliament. Jeremy is a Member of Parliament for South West Surrey, home to Masjid Mubarak. He has met with Hazur Akhtas many times and is a strong supporter of the Jamaat. He currently serves as a very senior level in the UK in the government as Chancellor of Exchequer and has previously served as the UK Foreign Secretary. And the third video is from Fleur Anderson, who is a Member of Parliament for Putney, home to Fazl Mosque. She's currently serving as Shadow Paymaster General for the Cabinet Office and is the Vice Chair for the All-Party Parliamentary Group for the Ahmadiyya Muslim Community. She has also visited Pakistan recently and sent a special message from Rabwa. We'll listen to these 3 messages now.
Your Holiness, Assalamu alaikum. I'm really sorry I can't be with you. This is Jalsa Salana. It's always an amazing event where people come from around the world to come together, to express their solidarity, humanity, and their faith. I particularly, though, want to join you by video to express my thanks to Your Holiness and everyone who supports your amazing work for peace around our world. We live, unfortunately, in very troubled times where we have the war in Ukraine, conflict in Eritrea, in Yemen, in Libya. The need to prevent those wars and to keep the peace has never been so important. And Your Holiness has shown global leadership with your compassion and your support of human rights, which has been exemplary. But I also want to thank the Ahmadi community here in the United Kingdom for their charitable work, for their support for our wonderful country. The work you've done in the run-up to the coronation, for example, really was hugely significant. I want to thank you and people in my constituency for the help they give me in the work that I do in Kingston and Surbiton. Our country has a lot of challenges. We know about the cost of living crisis, people's mortgages, rents, food prices. We know about challenges in the health service, challenges in our environment, climate change. And I know the Ahmadi community here in the UK is playing its part to try to solve those issues. I'm hugely grateful as the leader of the Liberal Democrats for the contribution you make to British society and the British economy. Over the next few months and years, there's a lot of work to do, but I know, having worked with the amazing Ahmadi Muslim community for many years now, that you will be there every step of the way, making your contribution. So thank you for what you do. I'm just sorry I'm not with you. Have a fantastic Jalsa Salana.
My name is Jeremy Hunt. I'm Member of Parliament for South West Surrey, where the beautiful Mubarak Mosque is located, and we're honoured that His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad resides. It's my pleasure to send you this message to this year's Jalsa Salana. I commend you for your amazing work, including your participation in the nation's coronation celebrations. It's inspiring to witness your members embracing this historic occasion, expressing your commitment to freedom of religion, king and country, and the beautiful principles of Islam. I must also acknowledge the remarkable leadership of His Holiness, a true man of peace who has repeatedly called for peace at every level in society. His words ring true in today's world, where peace is more vital than ever. I remain hugely concerned about the persecution that Ahmadi Muslims continue to face, and this persecution is now following you into the online space. As a government, we stand in solidarity with you. You must have the right to practice your faith, especially in Pakistan, where you are also severely persecuted, but also in countries like Burkina Faso and Algeria. But despite all of this, I'm always so inspired to see the work that you do here in the UK. Your charitable efforts are remarkable, and your work in building cohesive societies encapsulates your slogan of love for all, hatred for none. For more than a century, you've given so much to this country. Where you faced persecution and hate, you faced it with compassion. So I just want to thank you so much and send you my very best wishes for this year's Jalsa Salana.
Assalamu alaikum from Rabwa. I'm here in Rabwa and I've been visiting people in Islamabad and Lahore as well. And I just wish you best wishes on this amazing Jalsa Salana. And I'm sorry that I can't be with you today. But I've been visiting many of the community here in Rabwa. Amazing work being done. The schools, the special school and the college, and I visited the Lajna as well, and the technical work helping women to learn to sew, and the work is amazing. But I've also been talking to people about the effects of the persecution here in Pakistan, about the effect on education, on work, on not being able to vote in so many different aspects of life, and really feeling under siege and having fear every day. That is not freedom of religion. That is not the Pakistani constitution, how the Ahmadis should be treated by the Pakistani state. So I've been raising that here, and I will be raising it back home in our UK Parliament as well, and supporting the constituents I have in Southfields with our mosque, but across the country too. So I hope you have a wonderful Jalsa Salana. Jalsa Mubarak.
Thank you very much. I hope you all enjoyed those various messages. Now, we also, as I mentioned, have a lot of other messages. So we'll be showing you a few messages of good wishes that have been sent by various parliamentarians for our Jalsa Salana. Please enjoy.
Hi there, I'm Andy Street, Mayor of the West Midlands, and I'm delighted to be able to send you this message on the occasion of the 57th Jalsa Salana Convention.
His Holiness Hazrat Mirza Masroor Ahmad, the 5th Caliph of the Ahmadiyya Muslim movement. I know that he is coming to spread the word of peace and brotherhood between nations and between peoples.
Your message and commitment to love for all, hatred for none, is both good and godly. I know this to be the driving force of the Ahmadiyya Muslim community, and by God's strength, what you live out in faith and service.
The important message of love for all and hatred for none is one we must all pursue into the future.
And I know firsthand the very good work that your community does in the local communities in which it lives, whether that be supporting food banks, raising money for charities, or running different events.
Your community was so helpful and kind to our local residents. We couldn't have got through this this pandemic without you, and we were eternally grateful for everything that you've done.
A big thank you to the Ahmadiyya community in Huddersfield for all their outreach work, all their community work, and for all their work in community cohesion, bringing everybody together.
I know that many people are watching this today who will experience persecution in their own communities, and can I assure you that we in the UK will always do whatever we can to encourage other governments and other countries to change so that everyone can live in peace together.
I think you're doing an incredible job supporting litter picking, food banks, being able to help people in the local community is a very, very powerful thing. It's something extremely important to me, and I'm sure it's extremely important to all of you, and you should be very, very proud.
I'd like to wish you all a wonderful Jalsa Salana, where you will all come together to celebrate your powerful message of love for all and hatred for none.
I wish you every blessing for this conference, for all you do, and protection and safety for all your followers in every manifestation, that we may all, as people of faith, bring joy and love and peace into the world, a world that is so in need of it.
So on this Jalsa Salana, as Christians, we stand in solidarity with Ahmadis in Pakistan and around the world, and renew once again our commitment to advocate for your rights wherever the opportunity may arise. Thank you, and Khuda Aap Ke Saath Ho.